Hello and welcome to February's wrap up with me and Blue here. This is a rescue kitten that we are trialing to see if she can get along with my other cats. I'm hopeful it'll work out. So I read a total of 26 books this month, and I'm going to be honest, without Storygraph it is a little harder to compile the stats of what I read. But yeah, I'll make do. So with the 26 books that I read, I will talk about the ones that were the top rated, so 4 stars and up, and I'll talk about the worst rated. I'm not going to include DNFs because obviously I didn't finish the book, so I'm just going to include one of the worst books I read this month, and that was Pandora. So this was a historical book about a woman who owns a historical artifacts shop with her uncle. Her parents died under mysterious circumstances when she was a child, and a sort of uncle, her nefarious uncle, took over her guardianship and helped to do the store, and it all revolves around an ancient Greek urn. And at the start you think there might be some supernatural elements involved, with talk of curses, but no, it really wasn't supernatural, and it was just dull and boring, and there wasn't much to it. I didn't like a lot of the characters, including the main character, and it included animal cruelty. And for me, that's just like one of the things I don't ever want to read about in any way. And because there was nothing else to sort of make up for this one thing, I gave it 1 star. I really hated it. So that was Pandora. Great name, just a sucky book. And a beautiful girl. I'll talk about the best books of this month. I'll start with the one that's in 4th place, and that is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. So this is by Carissa Broadbent. It's a new series. It's a fantasy series in a world where vampires exist and have become sort of the ruling species. Humans are treated basically as livestock. The girl in this is sort of adopted by the king of vampires for unknown reasons and sort of raised like him. She ends up participating in these sort of trials so that if she wins, she can become a vampire like him and rule beside him. Obviously things happen along the way. There is love interest involved, and I really liked it. Look, it's not amazing, but it was a fun time. I'm interested to see how it plays out. There's sort of like a found family aspect naturally of other vampires she meets during the trials, and the love interest isn't bad, and there's sort of like a lot of twists and turns involved, so we'll see how it goes. Then in 4th place we have Hunt the Stars, and I gave this 4 stars. This was a sci-fi book, and it's got my favorite sort of trope where you've got a female captain of a ship who used to be part of the military, and she has her ragtag motley crew, my little baby, and their ship is falling apart. They love it dearly, but it is falling to bits and pieces, so they're really desperate for money. And then along comes this nefarious, dodgy dude / alien, broody man, dangerous guy, and he's got a mission for them, and they take it out of necessity. And along the way, a slow burn romance develops, and all these sorts of plot twists occur, and who's friend, who's foe, and I love it. I love it. Throw in a psychic cat-like creature and you got me so good. So I really enjoyed this. It was a blast. It was fun. I liked all aspects of it, and I'll definitely continue with the series. Next up, in 2nd place, I have Her Wicked Marquess by Stacey Reid. This is a historical romance about like this bookish nerd wallflower who wants to take herself out of the running for being married off, and to do this she decides to create a scandal by saying that she has hooked up with this debaucherous, I can't remember if he was a lord or whatever he was. Turns out that if he's going to be accused of something, he wants to done what he's been accused of, and they enter into this really cool sort of flirtatious relationship. It's a slow burn. I love the other things that were going on with this. So there was this sort of like vengeance element involved in it as well, but both the characters were really fun, and I loved their dynamic. There was a lot of sort of teasing foreplay, and I'm really into that. So that was that book. And in first place, it was A Matter of Temptation, once again by Stacey Reid, another historical romance. This was also, so both of those were 5-star books, but Matter of Temptation is definitely my favorite. So in this one, the premise was a woman and her brother, I forget names, I just do, sorry guys. And her brother has racked up debt, and to make matters worse, he accused someone else at the card game of cheating. His name was Simon, I remember his name. And he's challenged him to a duel. So the sister takes her brother's place because her brother can't fight to save his life, and she's a master fencer. So she goes to duel Simon. Simon sort of sees through her ploy straight away, but she does best him, and he's like, well, you bested me fair and square. I'm going to tell everyone. She says, please don't, I'm a lady. That'll cause my brother, like, his reputation to be ruined and causes disgrace. So instead, he offers her a job as his secretary, which was not done in those days. Only men were secretaries. So I really loved these two. They were really upstanding people. They were both championing, constantly trying to help the oppressed and to help those who had less power. And I loved their dynamic. It was really based on respect and support of each other. There was another slow burn romance, but Stacey Reid did it again for me, and I just absolutely loved and adored this book, and loved and adored both of the characters. So I'm going to leave it at that today because I don't have a lot of time to film because I'm so busy trying to introduce the new kitten to the rest of my cats. Hello, darling. Hello, sweetheart. So next month I'll do a bit more of a thorough monthly recap, but I read quite a decent amount considering I've been so busy and it's been a full-on month for me with so much loss and change. But there were some 5 stars, which is that's all you can hope for. And when I find those books, it really does just bring a lot of sunshine and happiness. I squeal with glee when I read a great book, and it leaves me feeling really uplifted and happy. And I needed that this month. So those were all the books. If you want to see all of the books that I've read this month and all of my reviews for them, I've discussed each and every one of them in all of the other reading vlogs from this month. But without much further ado, I hope you have a glorious morning, afternoon, or evening. And as always, stay wild, star child.